LeBron James, greatest basketball player in the world, had a conference call yesterday with the media. So he's been obviously very active on social media. I just saw something today where he and his family were dancing, doing something on TikTok and a little family dance and stuff. So he's done things like that, done, Q&As, I think, with fans. So he's been out there. But yesterday was the first time he talked with the professional media about, what he's doing and how he's handling this shutdown and the shutdown to the NBA season. And the major takeaway, nothing earth-shattering, but the major takeaway that he said, which I think makes complete sense and is just, I think, human nature. He said there would not be any closure to this season if indeed they don't finish it. Like, he would not feel closure. He'd feel, some good about what they accomplished, and they had a nice season. He played well. The team came together. Obviously had some great experiences with his teammates and other people in the organization. But there would not be closure. And Rob, that's to me one of the it's tons of negative stuff affiliated with the sports not finishing their seasons or having their seasons. But one of them is that there won't be closure. There'll never be closure. It's almost, if they don't finish this NBA season, it's almost like it never happened. It's like a forgotten season, and whether you love how LeBron was playing, Giannis, Kawhi, whatever, it is a forgotten season if it doesn't finish, and there is no closure to be had. I gotta think you agree with that.
Of course not. I mean, of course I do. The season isn't through. Everybody started to play with the chance of winning a championship, and it will be void of that, and it won't feel good. And there was a chance, if you're Giannis, you say, I had a chance to win an NBA championship. Yep. I had my team playing better than anybody in the NBA at the time that this pandemic, happened, and I felt good about our chances. Or if you're LeBron, you say to yourself, not only did we have the best record in the West, we were feeling good, we were coming off back-to-back wins off of two really good teams, and I was feeling good. I was in my groove, and my team was playing great. And at my age, in year 17 in the league, I'm not sure. Am I going to be that good next year? Are we going to be able to take the league by storm next year and do the same thing? So this could be a lost opportunity, Chris, and a lost opportunity at a chance at a championship that he might not see again. And if you're Kawhi and the Clippers and, Paul George,
you saw Doc Rivers, not to interrupt you, he said what you and I have said. He said that yesterday, I believe, that this is going to help Kawhi and Paul George.
I agree with that, don't you?
We both said that, yeah. Everybody's talking about, some people are saying it's going to help LeBron, and I think a rest at his age could help, but those two guys have been banged up all year for the Clippers, and it's going to help them.
They will be at full strength, and Chris, I think they've lost one game when they're at full strength. I know it's not a huge sample size, but when they have their whole arsenal, they're hard to beat.
Oh, yeah. No question. Sticking with LeBron, his teammate, friend of the Odd Couple show, Jared Dudley, he said this to The Athletic recently in an article posted on their website. He's talking about LeBron. He said, from a leadership standpoint, what this man does on and off the court is the best. I've played with guys like Steve Nash, Chris Paul. There is no one that compares to LeBron's leadership on and off the floor. His demeanor with what he does, to still be a guy's guy, to do the team dinners, to hang out, to bring in the whole Lakers organization together, who really deserves the MVP this season. Both deserve it. Do I think LeBron is a little bit more deserving than Giannis? Yes. Do I think Giannis' stats are better? Yes. But the MVP is not necessarily the best stats. That's why I'm giving LeBron the edge. That part at the end, we're not going to get in the MVP. But just as far as the leadership, Jared Dudley thinks LeBron James is the best leader in the NBA. And I'm not going to go long, and I'm going to say my piece quickly. Let you say what you want to say, because I think you will want to really go at this, and then I can follow that up. But I think LeBron's a great leader, or very good leader. I think this year his leadership has been tremendous. Obviously, they had to go through the Kobe tragedy. They've had to bring a team together where most guys had not played together. LeBron's been great. But who do I think is the best leader in basketball? I got to be honest. I'm going to second what Rick Bucher said here yesterday, I believe it was, or if it was 2 days ago. The best leader in the NBA is Steph Curry. The only ones you can compare, it's between LeBron, Chris Paul, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry. I mean, who else? Durant's not really a leader. Kyrie has had his struggles. Giannis is, he's young and still developing. The best leader in the NBA is Steph Curry. I've compared it, and I was doing this years ago when I was still, and I think you were still at the other network. I was saying he's like Tim Duncan, different personalities, all that. But they set the tone for the franchise. Steph's selflessness, his egolessness to some degree, obviously he's got an ego, but the fact that he's totally a team first guy, the fact that he is selfless, the fact that, when Durant came there, he totally embraced him, didn't worry about, this is going to take away my shine. I got to be the man. Deferred to Durant. He's the best. He was buddies with Mark Jackson. They both Christians. They vibed off that. I talked to both of them about that at times. And he was disappointed when Mark Jackson got fired. But he held it not against Steve Kerr. He didn't have an attitude. He bought into what Kerr was selling, led by example. So everybody bought in. When your best player is like that, it is great for the organization. And I can't think, while LeBron has had drama in the past, tweets and Instagram posts in the past, you can talk about last season drinking the wine and wanting players traded and things like that. I can't think of one thing that Steph has done publicly that's anti-team. Like, you could talk if you want about he's not a great defender and he hadn't hit this shot in the finals. I'm talking about as a leader, I can't think of one thing, one comment, one, body language, anything that is anti-team that would lead some of his teammates to raise their eyebrows and look at him like, yo, what is going on? So I think Steph's the best leader. I think LeBron's a very good leader, but I would go with Steph.
I think Dudley's comments are strange only from this standpoint. I know this is his first year here, Chris, with the Lakers. But a leader is not only when things are great. Things were great this year. They got off to, a 20-2 start or whatever it was, 18-3. Things were good.
Right.
Right? There's nothing to fight through. Last year, Chris, was when LeBron was the Walot, the worst leader of all time. He did so much, and what I mean by that, to hurt the team. You remember, he was just aloof, sitting at the end of the bench in some games. He talked publicly about getting Anthony Davis, which alienated him from his teammates. You remember Kyle Kuzma pushing him to go defend his man during games.
Right.
That's when, am I right? Last year, he wasn't a good leader. Showing up with wine or whatever. I mean,
I've never seen anything like that.
Nothing like that. That's like, I'm on a
that.
vacation. I don't care. That just didn't, that part last year. And this year, I'm just saying, I get it. Dudley just showed up here. He likes LeBron. But things are good. Leadership is important, Chris, when things are good, but even more so when things are bad. That's when people either know, this dude is the leader. He just packed it in, so I should pack it in. Am I right? And when you see that guy, the lead dog, is still fighting, even though things are bad and everything's going the other way, you say, man, LeBron ain't even quit. How in the world could I quit? And I think he's not the best leader this year, but last year he was the Walot.
Yeah, I look, there's no denying. I mean, and the thing is, when you're a player on a team like that, we've both played sports. I've been on teams where I'm the best player. I've been on teams where I'm not the best player more often, than not. And the best player sets a tone. And even if he's light years ahead of everybody else as far as his ability, if he says something, or in this case, put something out on social media or whatever, body language, it can rub dudes the wrong way. We're going to get into this tomorrow. Jerry Stackhouse talked about how he played with Michael Jordan in Washington, and he said he didn't enjoy it. And obviously, Jordan is viewed as the GOAT. Stackhouse probably thinks he's the GOAT, but the best player setting a negative tone, no matter how good you are, everybody's still a man. Everybody's still a great athlete in their own right, and it can rub guys the wrong way. So, yeah, there's no way you can defend some of the things LeBron did last year. And thankfully, and kudos to him, he's made up for it this year. But, yeah, I just think, like I said, I think Steph's the best leader in sports. And LeBron's been great this year, but it's more than just this year. All right, let's throw it out to the callers, Rob. Do you agree with Jared Dudley? Is LeBron James the best leader in basketball? Or is it Steph? Or is it somebody else? If it's not LeBron, who is it then? Your turn to weigh in as we continue the conversation with you next.
All right, Bill in California, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Bill?
Hey, fellas, thanks for taking the call, man. I know you guys probably all hunkered down, Chris behind his toilet paper fort, and Rob just relying on the bidet that he probably has in his bougie bathroom. But
there you go.
I'm wondering if maybe you guys got a little bit different definition of leader than Chris Dudley and I do. To me, Steph sounds like a hell of a teammate, deferring to stars coming in and whatnot. But somebody like LeBron, he's a leader in the sense that he knows what to do, when to do it, and he's not afraid to tell you. You say it as a negative that he's pushing Kuz out to cover his man.
No. Kuz pushed him out because he wasn't defending.
Right.
Okay, so I got that one flipped on that one. But who's talking, telling you where to go, telling you where to be, hell, even calling plays in the huddle from time to time?
But wait a minute, Bill. Let me just say this to you. Do you think LeBron had anything to do with when that team went sideways last year? Did LeBron's actions have anything to do when that team went sideways?
Yes, because he knew that half those guys weren't coming back. They were already going sideways when he got hurt.
No, but he did it publicly. Would you admit that? Is that a good leader?
At that point, no, but Chris Dudley wasn't there last year either.
No, you're talking about James, Jared Dudley. I was wondering, I was like, are you tight with Chris Dudley?
No. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, James.
All right.
Yeah, me and him and Rob, we used to go to Cheetahs and whatnot. But anyway.
Yeah, all right.
Now, look, LeBron.
Thanks for the call, Bill.
Is obviously more outspoken than Steph, and he clearly is like the dominant personality in that franchise and wherever he's been. So in that regard, Steph's not as dominant of a personality, but that dominant personality can also be used for negative. And last year it caused a lot of negative friction.
No doubt about it. You can't deny that. Even a LeBron fan. Am I right, Chris?
Right.
Even a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
Because after that all came out, everything fell apart. Clyde in Maryland, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Clyde?
Hey, how you guys doing? Great show. Every night I listen to you guys.
Man,
thank
you.
To go back to both of you, back in your ESPN days, everything, you guys are great broadcasters and journalists.
Thank you,
my man. We
That's
appreciate
so nice.
That.
So, Steph Curry, without a doubt, it's just his nature to be a leader. His parents done such a good job of raising him and stuff. To be a professional athlete and the kind of atmosphere he's in all the time, to lead people like he does is just fantastic. But another reason I called the Poo Poo King. Is that Rob, the Poo Poo King?
I'm the Poo Poo King.
I'm the Poo Poo King.
I got a name for Mr. Broussard. And you guys are old enough to remember this. You guys remember Mr. Whipple?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, the guy who said don't squeeze the German.
Was that Dennis?
Chris wiped your butt last night talking about Brady.
My man.
So Chris Broussard is now known as Mr. Whipple.
I like it. I got to admit, at first I was like, what?
Clyde, man, you hurt me. You cut me to the quick.
Excellent call. Call anytime, buddy.
Oh, my God.
Anytime.
All right,
Mr.
Jacob.
Whipple. I like it.
We're going to get a clip from the old commercial. Jacob in New Mexico, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, right on, guys. Thank you, man. I'm gonna make up for Tuesday. I let you guys off easy, man. So I'm gonna make this real quick a trash talking Thursday, because right now, man, Rob, you must be in quarantine too long because you are agreeing too much with our brother Broussard over here, man. LeBron is the best leader in the NBA. You lead by example, when you go out there and you put it out on the court.
All right, hey, Jacob.
That's it? That's it?
No,
Jacob,
no,
let me tell you something.
I was expecting fireworks.
I know. Well, that's a lame trash talking Thursday because normally it's Tuesday. But we're talking about the way LeBron responded last year. Leadership is a lot of different things. I get out on the court, you play well, and you lead by example. But there are other leadership
Everybody
qualities as
does
well.
that.
Yep,
And all the best players in the NBA, for the most part, are doing that. And again, I think LeBron's a very good leader, but he's also had hiccups. If I was on a team, I really wouldn't want to be seeing cryptic tweets from a teammate, from my best player particularly.
Absolutely.
So I think stuff like that, I'd rather you just come say it to me privately and we can, you know what I mean? We'll work it out. So I think he's a very good leader, but he's not the perfect leader. Okay. 877-99 on Fox. Thank you for weighing in. We've got, speaking of LeBron, the Lakers shooting guard, Danny Green. Danny, welcome to the Odd Couple. What is up, man?
How you doing?
What's up, man? How you guys doing? Appreciate you guys having me.
Great
Thank
to have
you, buddy.
on. And I got to say this before we get going. We've seen, Kendrick Perkins, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes with their All the Smoke podcast. A lot of guys really
trying
make
to take
that
our
smooth,
jobs.
yes, that smooth transition into sports. Jalen Rose. Danny Green is next because he's got a great podcast, the Green Room Podcast. And they recently, their last show, Christian Dawkins, he's this guy with the scheme, which is on television now, is the college basketball scandal. And they just recently taped an interview with Meta World Peace for his podcast. So Danny got next, if he wants it. Do you want it, Danny? That's the question.
Yeah, I appreciate the shout out, man. I appreciate the plug. But of course, it's something definitely I'm looking into, man. Shout out to all those other podcasts. They're great as well. But yes, Inside the Green Room is something I've been doing and helped keep me entertained during this quarantine. I've got a chance to not only interview some people, but catch up with some old friends and old teammates at the same time. But the scheme was a great one. It was a great show. If you haven't seen it or watched it, catch it now on HBO. It's amazing. And Christian had some good insight and some a great story to tell, which, is a system, I think, with the NCAA that needs to be changed in favor of the players. But, if there's an opening for me next up, when it's all said and done, I'll gladly take it.
Well, here's
I'm
the only
sure
thing
there will be.
I want to ask is it hard? Have you appreciated the media from you doing your podcast now, like the jobs that we've done for all these years? Do you have a better appreciation for it? And how tough is it to ask questions that need to be asked sometimes?
Man, great appreciation for the media, especially ever since I did the Sportscast U in Syracuse. I checked that out a couple of years ago. I did it just to see how I would like it and if I would be good at it. And I have a lot of work to do, to say the least. But I do respect the media. I've always respected the media, but even more so now, being behind the scenes and also trying to interview people. I'm used to being, interviewed myself, but to ask questions and think of some. I mean, obviously, the people that I interview have interesting stories, so it's easy for me a lot of times to just ask them things that I'm curious about, which I know the viewers are curious about. But when you're interviewing your teammates and you pretty much know your teammates, really well, you have to ask them questions as if you don't know them. And the hardest thing for me in general is to ask people to actually just join on the show. It's like asking guys for favor and actually to do work on their days off, which kind of sucks. So that's the toughest part for me. But I do have a big, huge respect for the media after doing this. And I said it's taken some time to learn how to ask guys questions and also learn how to, get guys to feel comfortable of joining the show and not feeling like, they're going to be pressed into speaking about on things that they don't want to talk about. I let them know, you guys can come on and talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you don't want to talk about a certain subject, let us know. We'll make sure we stay away from that. But we try to give the viewers what they want to hear and also, the guys a comfortable space where they can talk and be themselves.
Well, Danny, keep up the great room. Again, it's the Inside the Green Room podcast. All right, let's get to the NBA. Word is you're cautiously optimistic about the season returning. I know some players are pessimistic. Where do you get your optimism from?
I'm just an optimistic guy. I'm very hopeful in general. But talking to a lot of guys around the league, talking to Michelle, we had a call with her, and just seeing how things are going and just seeing how important it is, not just to us, but the world and a lot of businesses of getting everything back to normal. I think it's very important and imperative for everyone to try to get back to normal as soon as possible. So I don't think anybody wants to miss out on these opportunities. So I think that helps me feel more comfortable and more optimistic about the situation, knowing how important it is. So if it's that important, I know we'll find a way. But if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't. But I know everybody exerted all scenarios possible to try to get it done. But instead of just end of the day, I'm an optimistic guy by nature. But Michelle and the other guys around us and the media around us have helped, and the people around me have helped, make me feel like we're going to be able to salvage the season.
But, Danny, here's my only problem with these ideas of putting the players, sequestering them, and taking them from their families and their wives and girlfriends and kids, and we're going to lock them away and just have them play basketball for us for 3 months. I just think that is the most ridiculous idea ever. God forbid you have a loved one who becomes sick or something and you're away from them. I just think you would be would feel the worst. I mean, I just think that's asking a lot for athletes to leave their loved ones to play basketball games that at the end of the day really don't matter in the grand scheme of life. I understand. I love sports. I want to see basketball again. But I just think that's asking a lot of players to leave their families.
For sure. It is a big ask. End of the day, we love the sport. It is our job. And this is how a lot of guys make a living. So we travel quite a bit anyways. We're away from our families often, even to going through college. Last time I spent Thanksgiving and Christmas at home with my family in New York has been a long time. So we're used to being away from our loved ones. But the ones that are the closest to us, the ones that are in our homes with us here, is going to be tough. But, there's many guys that have gone overseas for 3 or 4 months. 3 months at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think is a very, very long time. Guys will definitely sacrifice it if it gives us the opportunity to play the sport that we love.
But Danny, but I get that. Let me just I want to make my point clear. I get that leaving and having to go do what you do, but where people are dying is my thing. This is like a different scenario that we've never been a part of, and I think that's the part that I'm saying. I think is unfair to put on athletes that you must perform during these dire times.
Definitely. I said it's not an ideal situation or an ideal ask. It definitely is tough. But I think if they do it, they're going to take the necessary precautions to make sure that everyone is safe. And that's the only way to do it. If that's the only way to do it, then I think guys will make that sacrifice in order to play the sport and also to make a living. We have to take care of our families and loved ones. But it is a dire time. It is very dangerous, but I'm sure if we have to do that, they'll take the necessary precautions to where, we won't get infected and infect our families and loved ones, so that we're safe when we get back home to where we are.
Danny Green, Lakers shooting guard, joining the Odd Couple. Danny, we were talking earlier, Rob and I. Jared Dudley, your teammate, he said LeBron James is the best leader in basketball.
Homer.
I think LeBron's a very good leader. I think Steph Curry is the best leader. I think he's similar to Tim Duncan in my, different personalities, but just as far as setting the tone in the franchise and all that and doing whatever is necessary as far as his role to win. You were with LeBron in Cleveland early in his career where I thought he was a good leader then. I mean, I remember you guys had the photos. You remember that, the pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
All that. And tell me, though, about the difference, the growth you've seen, if any, in LeBron when he was first in Cleveland and you were with him to now in his 17th season with the Lakers and how he's grown as a leader or changed.
I think I agree with Jared. Jared's been around this league for a long time. Great dude, one of the funniest guys you'll ever be around, and you had him on the show as well. He had a great interview. But what separates Bron from the other guys is leadership. I'm not saying that those guys aren't great leaders. They are very good. It's just they have different styles. But what makes him, I think, a better leader is how he interacts and it takes guys and his teammates under his wing off the court. He makes sure that guys are, it's kind of like you don't get scenarios in professional sports where it's a college type atmosphere or a college type locker room where guys actually still interact and do everything. In college, that's the only time you do it. Now, guys, listen, when you're at a professional level, they have families, they have kids. When they go home, we don't see each other, talk to each other much, or hang out with each other. Or even when I was in San Antonio, Tim was a great leader, so was Manu and Tony. But we didn't do a lot of activities off the floor together where it was like, all right, let's do that on the road sometimes here and there. But Brian makes sure everybody's kind of engaged. We have a group chat. He makes sure everybody's, he stays in touch with everybody, and make sure we're all on the same page and hanging out and making sure we're on the same, just the same energy, the same chemistry off the floor, which helps and makes things easier on the floor. And on the floor, he holds it to a standard. He has a lot of fun. But the growth from Cleveland, so he still is a character. He was a character then, but now he's still a character, but he's definitely more focused, learned how to win, how to be a winner, knows what's the importance of certain plays, what things we need to do, the 50-50 balls. And his IQ has always been great, but he understands his personnel better of, I need this person here, I need this person there, I want you in the corner, I need AD setting the screen over here. So in that sense, he has a great memory, pretty much like a photographic memory, and knows where he needs to put his personnel to make everyone successful, not just himself. Real quick, last question.
The layoff from basketball, is that good for LeBron because he's an older guy, he's got a lot of miles and a lot of games under his belt, or he has to restart depending on how long this layoff? He was playing some really good basketball. You guys were rolling. You hate to stop playing when you're playing well and go to the sideline. So do you think that's going to help him or hurt him, or you can't tell?
It's hard to tell. I think the rest definitely helps, but I think at this time when we're guys taking a month or two off, it definitely is a restart for everybody, not just him. But I think it'll help him more so than hurt him in the long run. He gets a chance, his body to rest. Doesn't have to play as many games back to back to back. It's a shorter. If we do get more salvage some of the regular season, great. If not, then we get in the playoffs and you get even more rest in between games. So he'll be fresh. But it's hard to tell at this point. We won't know until we get back into the gym and start practicing and seeing where everybody's at, chemistry-wise, rhythm-wise. But definitely breaks rhythm when you're playing that good of basketball and have to sit out for a month or two.
All right, that's the voice of Danny Green, the two-time NBA champion, Lakers shooting guard, and host of the Inside the Green Room podcast with his boy Harrison Sanford.
I was going to say, we got to give him a shout-out. Harrison.
Yeah, you got to shout out Harry, man. I appreciate you guys shouting my guy out.
He's a good guy from New York, like me and Danny. Not you, Chris, but us three. And Danny, I think years ago in New York, you played against my nephew. Probably
I think you
AAU.
put 58 on him.
Yeah, probably. Alvin Parker is my nephew. Alvin Parker. He has a barbershop now in Jamaica.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Al?
Exactly
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I do know Alvin. I do know him. Yeah,
Okay.
He's a barbershop. From what I hear, he charges a lot for his haircuts too.
He does, but he does a great job.
A lot of my homies aren't happy with his haircut, but he said he's good. He's good at what he does, though. They're not happy with the prices. They're happy with the cut. They're not happy with the prices. But he's good at what he does, and I do remember Alvin.
Funny.
Yep.
Funny.
All right. I just wanted to say that to you. All right, Danny.
All right,
Thank
Danny.
you.
Great stuff, man.
You guys take it easy,
safe.
man. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Later.